All right, welcome Trina to the Inspired Idiot Show.
Woohoo! We need
this,
intro music.
yeah, we need something. This is where we basically talk about your business, see where you're at right now, and really where you're going in the future. So,
Mm.
I'd love if you could kind of break down a little bit of what even started you on this journey of starting your own business.
Well, I think it was just wanting to have my own business as opposed to, working in the rat race of someone else's business, just wanting to have something of my own mostly.
Mm,
Um, so I actually started in, I think either 2019 or 2020. It was a few years ago, but I was not really um prospecting and things the way I should have because I was still working a 9 to 5 job, and I'm still currently working a 9 to 5 job um right right now. But just trying to learn, the whole concept of digital marketing, and trying to learn the procedures and the push buttons, as well as how to um promote what we do, and how we can help clients or business owners and things like that. So
mm.
that's pretty much how I started.
Okay, and when you started, you were saying the prospecting methods, you weren't doing it as much as you should have. I mean, I know Kelsey and I, we were kind of the same boat where you're like, no, this is gonna be easy, and you just kind of didn't do all the things you could have done, like to maximize your day. So for you, how much time were you putting in per day, and what were you doing when you first started versus now?
Well, I was doing mostly like computers reach. I
Mm,
was in the beginning. They were heavily talking about freelancer, and that was pretty much the primary platform that I was doing my computers reach, as well as Craigslist. Back in 1.0 days, um, they were also promoting Upwork as well. But
mhm,
as far as what Jason was saying back then, Upwork and I'm sorry, freelancer.com and guru.com was more popular back then. So that was the platforms that I was mostly prospecting on. Um, but like I said before, I wasn't really prospecting the way I should have. And then I ran into a lot of scammer issues on the freelancer platform, which made me a little bit apprehensive about prospecting on um, freelancer. So I started doing
mhm,
Guru, but I haven't really gotten any bites off of that platform. So I kind of um, put the computer's reach on hold, and I started doing arms reach. And recently, I actually started reaching out to business owners who have sponsored ads, but they're actually boosted posts as opposed to an
mm.
actual ad
Yeah.
campaign. So those are the people that I've been pretty much targeting for the past, actually, probably the majority of this year. I was pretty much focused on that. I was also doing like Groupon and the triple tap method, going on Google searches and um, reaching out to people, via social media and email. Just promoting what we do, and uh, seeing if they need, any leads for their business. And I recently talked to Abby and Kate and told them what I was doing. And Kate was like, "Well, I really need somebody to, possibly do like Facebook and Instagram ads and maybe some other things as well." And she saw some of the work that I was doing with the med spa trials that I was doing I think it was like the beginning of April. I want to say March or April of this year. I was doing a med spa trial, which didn't turn into a retainer, but Kate was really impressed with the video content as well as the results that I got for that particular client. And she was like, "Well, I can really use some help with possibly doing some lead gen ads, like ad videos for her potential clients, or if I receive any clients on my end, then I could rely on her for like maybe message marketing if I'm doing lead gen and she's doing the marketing or vice versa. So that's
Hmm.
pretty much how it
Interesting.
all kind of transpired for me.
So what made you decide that you wanted to get into digital marketing? I mean, there's so many different online businesses out there today, right?
Right. So I was actually doing affiliate marketing before I've heard about LMV, and I wasn't really getting any, really positive results. And I wasn't really doing the ad marketing, the ad side correctly because I was doing boosted posts just like a lot of these business owners are doing currently. So I
Yeah.
wasn't really getting any traction, and I wasn't really making, really making any money doing affiliate marketing. So when I saw, I think it was James's video on YouTube, and he was talking about the bridge and being a bridge between the business owner and the customers and things like that. I was like, that sounds like something that I might be able to do. I was like, I'm pretty creative. And I used to watch so many commercials when I was a kid because I was a TV kid. So it was like, I think I probably would be able to do something like that and really, bring business owners some customers and get paid for doing that. I was like, that's something I would like to dabble in. So I just decided to do it and just go all in. And that's what happened.
Nice. And I mean, we've all been there with the affiliate marketing side. You're like, I'm gonna make this money online, and then
Yeah,
then
like
you're like, wait,
they really promoted it, made it seem like it was, oh, you can make so much money, and you really don't.
yeah, yeah. I feel like it's like one of those things. You have an audience, or you're really
Yeah.
good at buying ads or something. Like you can make it work, but like it's not so beginner friendly where it's like, oh no, it's gonna be so easy. You just set
Yeah,
this little ad up, it's gonna run. Because if they work like that, everyone would just run that ad and sell the product,
exactly.
right? It is
Mhm.
it versus like this kind of thing where you're helping local businesses the same. Sure, somebody could run these similar campaigns, but there's just so many businesses and everybody's got their own lives. They're so busy, and they're not have their eyes on the marketing side all the time.
Mhm.
So for
Exactly.
when you started the program, how long did it take you to get going and get your first client and start seeing some success with the program?
Actually, recently, this is like I said, when I started working with Kate and Abby, that's when things really started to take off for me. Because, like I said, I wasn't really focused on it on the business as I should have been because I was still doing a 9 to 5 job, so I wasn't prospecting a whole lot. And then like I said, the trial I did with the med spa didn't turn into a retainer, even though I got them close to 30 leads in 2 weeks.
Wow.
But you know, so when I started recently, and this has been like maybe a few months, I've been working with Kate and Abby trying to get some clients going, and we've done a couple of trials, and we turned one into a retainer, and then we're also collaborating with a lot of LMVers who you know want to do the sales and the closing, but don't want to do fulfillment. So it's
Mhm.
like we kind of collaborated and kind of turned ourselves into like a fulfillment type of agency, if you will. So it's like we're
Nice.
combining her agency and my agency together, and became a fulfillment agency, and it's been working out pretty
Okay.
good,
Nice.
so far. Even though we're still in the beginning stages, it's like a positive change for us, for all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's
you
fun.
you mentioned to me, I mean, I reached out to you to do this interview and you said that you actually just put in your 2 weeks notice at your job.
I kind of did, but the way the arrangement is that I'm going to be like slowly inching my way out. So I'm going to be reducing my hours from the 40 plus hours that I was doing. I'm going to reduce to like 35 and then 30 and then 25, and eventually I'm going to completely be out of the company. But I wanted to do it this way so that way I'm still making a little bit of income and then giving them enough time to find a couple people to replace me because they need like at least 2 or 3 people to replace me. So
Wow. Wow.
That's the life of a 9 to 5 employee. Usually, you're kind of
yeah.
doing the duties of like 3 people often.
Especially if you're good, right? Because you're just juggling. You're just,
Yeah.
and now they're like, yeah, okay, no, we need you. We need you.
Yeah, because
So
they
for
really
you,
don't
when
want me
you,
to leave, but I was like, well, I can at least, reduce my hours slowly and to give you enough
yeah.
time to get the people you need so that, it wouldn't be too much of a loss once I finally do leave. So,
Hmm.
That's yeah, and that's so interesting that you were saying that most of your success has come more recently. So when you were saying you weren't doing all the prospecting, were you not doing like the 1 to 2 hours per day? Like, what do you feel like wasn't working quite well for you at the beginning stages?
I don't know. I mean, I did prospect quite a bit, like as far as like computers reach. Um,
Mm,
I'm more of an introvert, so it's like really hard for me to like physically reach out to businesses and say, "Hey, can I get you more leads?" or something like that, and without
right.
people, looking at or listening to me like I'm crazy or something. So I was like, well, I have to find a method that would work for me. I was like, I think that the computer's reach works for me the best because I can at least start a conversation, via email and social media as opposed to just physically calling somebody and just starting a conversation that way would be awkward for me. So,
Mm,
that's why I started doing it this way. And then once I started reaching out to businesses that are already doing sponsored ads, but are doing boosted post sponsored ads, I feel like they already have a pain point because I feel like they're losing money because they're not, getting their target audience with the boosted posts as they would with an actual ad campaign.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's actually a really
Yeah.
good point. I think that a lot of people, like a lot of small business owners, will kind of try to do their own ads and they're like, "Oh, I'll just, boost our posts." And some people think that that is the same thing as doing a full ad campaign.
Hmm.
So for anybody who, maybe is going to watch this and they're like, "Well, what I don't know the difference. Can you explain why seeing somebody doing boosted posts is a good indicator that they need your help?"
Well, like I said before, when I was doing affiliate marketing, I was doing boosted posts because, just like any other business owner, I assumed that the boosted post was, and when I seen put my ad up there and it said sponsored ad, I was like, okay, that's what they do. They do a boosted post. And I wasn't really getting the target audience that I needed to be able to purchase whatever product I was, marketing with the boosted post. So I would imagine that most business owners are going through the same thing because the way we were taught in the training was that when you do a boosted post, you have limited targeting, limited demographic settings, but like all the settings that you would have on like doing a manual ad campaign, you're limited to that with the boosted post. So when um, you actually launch it, it's not really, sending out the ad to the right people. So they're
Mm,
not getting they're not getting a good quality lead. They're not getting any quality leads. So, with at least
right.
with an ad campaign, you can target who you want to look at the ad, who is most likely to, want to click on the ad and claim whatever offer that you're promoting. So,
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Nice. And for you, what was like I guess because you started getting with Kate and building your agency that way, getting people who are more sales focused. How did you start that? Like, did you post in the group about your results, and then Kate reached out to you, or how did that get going?
well, because she started when she even actually before she started doing lives, I was asking her a lot of questions, just random questions about different aspects of the fulfillment part of the marketing. Because I was like responding to, different bids on Upwork and Guru. And, sometimes business owners post things that you may not be familiar with. So sometimes I would ask her questions and things like that. And even when I was running the Med Spa campaign, I would go to her like, "What do you think about this?" Or like, "Should I change anything or anything?" So I would always she was always my go to for a while. I don't even know how that actually started, but I remember she did respond to one of my posts that I put asking a question about something marketing wise, and then I started messaging her on like direct messaging her, and then it just kind of went from there. So when she reached out to me, because she was, saying like some projects may be coming up and I may need someone to do like Facebook and Instagram ads. And I really like the way your videos come out. So I would really like to collaborate with you. And that's pretty much how it just kind of went from there. And Abby was the one that reached out to me because I was talking to Kate about the prospecting and not really getting any traction from some of the people that I reached out to. And Abby was like, give me your list. And I was like, okay. So I kind of gave her the list of people that I've already that I've recently prospected, and she started reaching out, like doing like a follow-up to all the people that I've reached out to. And it just kind of went from there. And then I don't know, it's like recently a lot of people from LMV have been, I don't know if it's because she's doing the lives, and I don't know. Well, Abby does a lot of promoting um for her agency on the LMV group. So I think
Hmm.
she's probably been spreading the word that we're kind of collaborating together. So it's like a lot of people on LMV, and it's mostly a lot of new people um, who just finished the training, and they started prospecting. We're like, well, I have these clients, but I don't know what to do with them because I'm brand new, and they, so they were just kind of reaching out to us recently. And actually, Joe, I think his name is Joe Mitchell. He was the one that got
Mhm.
us the job with the distillery and doing the Facebook and Instagram ads for the distillery. And that's been doing really well. And now he's reached out to someone on Upwork. It was a business who has an app for deep meditation, or it's like more like a
Hmm.
motivational meditation type of thing. And he wanted to promote that on YouTube, but he had some other things that needed to be tweaked on the actual app before we can even do that. So we were just meeting with him today on Zoom a couple of hours before we came on here today. So I was pretty
Nice.
excited
Nice.
about that. But yeah, like
So it's
a lot
taken
of our
off.
referrals have been mostly from LMVers recently. So
Hmm.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, no doubt. So in terms of when you're actually, running these campaigns for people, how are you I guess how are you finding that it's going for you in terms of it? Like, did you take a lot of your stuff from LMV, or are you just kind of making your own things as you go, or is it a little bit of a blend?
I mean, pretty much everything that I do is based off of what I've learned in LV. As far as like how to set up the campaigns. Like in the beginning, I was, referring to the videos each time I had to create a campaign, but I did it a couple of times, so I kind of got used to the setup. And it
Hmm.
just became, it's just like Jason always says, it's a rinse and repeat. So like once you've done it like a
Yeah.
couple of times, it's like you pretty much it's pretty much the same procedure every time. The only thing that changes is the business niche and maybe the content within your advertising. That's the only thing that changes, but the actual setup and getting everything set up in what is it, ATB. Keep getting mixed up with A2P. But like
Yeah.
getting everything set up, for the campaign and to be able to acquire the leads as they come in. You know, once you've done it a couple of times, it becomes repetitive. The only thing that I really need to really brush up on is just developing the workflow in A2 ATB. That's the only thing, and like doing the opportunities and things like that. I pretty much have the concept to it, but I have to do it a few times to really master it, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And have you seen, like, with the campaigns you've been running, have you seen a really big impact in the businesses you've been working with?
Yeah, the distillery, he was really happy with the amount of leads that were coming in. Even though the booking, we're still developing. the booking with the A2P. Once we, like I said, once we get that set up, then there'll be a lot more booked appointments. But he pretty much knows that the process was going to take some time, and he was really okay with that. So like I said, once we get that up and running, we add that to the SMS to the workflow and start cranking out those SMSs to the people that we've
Hmm.
already received, um, the okay, and actually said that they wanted to do it was like a tour for two, um, around the
Mm.
distillery. It was like actually a tour and tasting for two, and you also get merch and everything for like $42 for two people. So
Nice.
Wow.
we already had the 20 something people. We just got a booking not too long ago. I saw the notification come up on my phone. But once we get the SMS, because I think the reason why a lot of people probably didn't book an appointment was because we were just sending out emails, and a lot of people don't check their emails like that. But they do check
Hmm.
their text messages. So I think that's why I think once we get the A2P up and running, we start sending cranking out those SMS messages. We'll start getting a lot more bookings. So.
Hmm. And
So
so far, in terms of building your agency, with the help of other LMV members and all the referrals you're getting, what made you decide to start taking some less hours at your job and start dedicating more time towards this?
it's just because of the workflow that's coming in, and I feel like I don't know. I just feel like it's time because of the workflow that's coming in and people that are really, wanting to work with us. I feel like if I focus more time on, my business and less time on someone else's business, I think it could really, you know, take off for me, and it'll allow me to be able to, have some level of financial freedom where I'm not relying on another business to give me a raise or to let me have to pay time off, or let me have any time off for that matter, especially at my job. It's like if I request any time off, it's like World War III, and I have to be like a lawyer debating on why I need this time off. And I don't want to like spend the rest of my life living like that, I guess, for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I always thought it was such a weird dynamic that like you have this job and you're entitled to vacation time, but then when you want to take it, it becomes this whole thing where like at my old job, I needed approval from multiple
Mhm.
departments, and I was like, I just want to take the vacation time that you guys told me I could take. What's the big deal
Exactly.
here?
Exactly. And I feel like, what's the point of acquiring knowledge if you can't do anything with it, you know? And
Mhm.
I learned so much, going through the training with LMV, and LMV is constantly evolving, and I'm constantly learning new things every time I look into the vault. So it's like, what's the point of acquiring all this knowledge if you're stuck at a 9 to 5 job that you don't like, where you're not, getting the money that you need to be able to do whatever you want to do, or, to be able to have that freedom to be able to, go somewhere if you want to and not have to be constrained to, asking for time off and things like that. Like that was just something that I was just really adamant to do. And I'm getting older now. It's like I'm getting a little tired to be turning wrenches all day because I'm a service technician, so
Hmm.
working on cars is really physically draining. And I would rather do something creative where I can use my mind to make money as opposed to using my body. So that's where I'm at with that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I want to
yeah,
retire from
makes
turning
sense.
wrenches. I don't even want to
That's
work on my
exciting
own
that
car.
you've That's exciting that you have like planned your exit
Yeah.
strategy and now it's
Oh
happening. That's
yeah.
got to
I've
feel
been thinking
good.
about this for a long time. I was just waiting on the right time to do it, and I think it's starting to come up soon. So,
Mhm.
Nice. That's
So,
awesome.
so in terms of your agency side, you guys are starting to build up your client base, get more retainers on board, so you feel more comfortable in reducing the hours
that's
and
pretty
all
much
that.
where I am right now. It's just, trying to gain as many, you know, monthly, decent, monthly retainers, to feel comfortable to at least be able to completely leave. the company altogether. So that's what I'm building towards
Mhm.
now. And I feel real confident um, with working with Abby and Kate because we pretty much all have the same mindset as far as what we want to do to really be able to scale our businesses. So, I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, it sounds like fun
Yeah.
actually. Like you guys have like this little coalition, and you
Oh
guys
yeah,
are just
we're
pushing
on
it.
we're
You
on
know, like
Zoom
see how many
almost
people you can
every
talk
day,
to.
just either collaborating on or come brainstorming on things. Sometimes we just talking about everyday stuff that's going on too, but the majority of the time we're like usually on Zoom and just collaborating on content or collaborating on video ideas and things like that, and it's pretty cool. I mean, I think it was better for me to collaborate with someone as opposed to doing it myself, like doing everything by myself, which was pretty much the mentality I came into LMV in the beginning. Like I could just do everything myself and I could make all the money. And then I wound up not making any money, so it was like, it just came to the point where I was like, maybe I need
Yeah.
some, some help from others. And I think Kate and Abby coming into the fold, I think it was meant to happen. So,
Yeah. No, I think that's a really big point because a lot of people will try online businesses themselves and they'll even use programs like LMV, but they kind of go into it thinking like I'm going to do everything myself and that's cool and you should learn how
right.
everything works, but for somebody like you who already had a full-time job, I think it's really smart when people do form those partnerships and they're like, "Hey, I got 10 hours a week to put into this. You got 10 hours a week. What are you good at? Okay, here's what I'm good at. Let's work together." And then you can grow your business faster and then get to the point that you're at where you're like, I'm gonna leave my job
Yeah,
now.
Yeah,
definitely.
and it frees you up time. So if you do decide to keep prospecting, whether that's in your local community, Upwork, local referrals, whatever, it gives you that timeline where you're not trying to do it at 7 at night when you're finally done or anything
Yeah,
like that. When you're tired and you're at your mentally and physically probably your weakest, especially with a physically demanding
yeah,
job.
yeah. I mean, it is pretty hard right now, but I don't know. I think the adrenaline of having a successful agency, I think that's probably what motivates me and keeps me pumped to try to crank out, the best videos that I can possibly create, and I try to do some of my work at work, even though I'm not supposed to, but most of the time, if I'm working in the basement and I'm, draining cars, like doing the draining of the oil changes, I'm pretty fast. So we have 3 bays, so I can drain and change the filters and stuff on all 3 cars and still have enough time to send out emails and social media messages while I'm waiting on them to finish their conversation and finally add oil to the cars. So I get a lot of stuff done
Right.
while I'm at work. And then, whatever I can't get done at work, I try to, do at home and still, try to have enough time to sleep so I'll be able to function for the next day, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah. So if you had to guess, like roughly how many hours a week do you think you're putting into your online business right now?
Lately it's been, let's say today I think I got online. I had my first meeting at 11 o'clock, and even before that I was working on the video for that meditation, and that was like around 8 9 o'clock in the morning. So, and usually I don't finish until depending on what I'm doing. If I have multiple things going on until about maybe 11 12 o'clock. There have been times when me and Kate have been on Zoom till like 2 3 o'clock in the morning. So it all depends on what's going on at the moment. It can range from 8 to 12 hours a day. But I love it though, because it's not like I'm doing anything strenuous or throwing my back out or my shoulder, doing anything strenuous. Even though it can be mentally strenuous, I rather it be mentally strenuous than physically strenuous. So I don't mind doing the work, and I don't mind doing the creatives and putting in the work to really crank out whatever we need to do to move forward with whatever business we're working with. So that's how I look
Mm,
at it.
nice.
Like it's work, but it's not the same type of
Yeah,
work that I'm
gotcha.
used to, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like your time goes
Oh yeah,
farther
yeah.
almost.
I feel like the time flies when I'm,
Nice.
doing something, within the agency because it's like I have so much going on that I'm going through different apps and trying to edit different things. And I feel like the time goes by. I'm like, I need to go to bed. I have to work in the morning. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I didn't even realize what time it is. But I love doing that though, because I like looking at the end result and seeing, the leads come in. That's like it's like an adrenaline rush for me as like each lead come in. I'm like, oh, we got another lead. We're constantly messaging each other every time some leads come in, or if someone books an appointment, we get all excited.
Nice.
It,
I
it's
love
kind
it.
of it's kind of funny because it's like you're getting these leads, you're helping another business out, right, with generating business, but you're also excited. You're like, yeah, we're doing the
Yeah.
thing. Like we're not. It's not like we're lying or anything. We're doing the
And
thing.
I'm
It's
very
awesome.
competitive. I always tell the LMVers as well as the business owners that we're talking to on Zoom. I was like, we're very competitive. We're all about getting you the best results and getting you the most leads, and we get excited for you when leads come in because that's what we do. And it just gets them excited and makes them motivated to even work with us. Because when we talk to business owners, it's usually like the four of us on a Zoom call. Usually me, Kate, and Abby, and
Mm,
whichever LMV we're working with, and the business owner. So it's like five of us on Zoom, and it's like we kind of motivate each other. And I think in a sense, I probably needed that as well, not only for myself, but even I guess for each other. We probably all need that for each other, and I think it works well for
Mm,
us.
mm.
nice.
So how long have you guys kind of banded together and been working
I
together?
think it started in I think September, October. In the beginning,
Nice,
Okay. And how many clients do you have in your business right now?
let's see, it's the
nice.
distillery, the meditation, the roofer, and then we're about to possibly we're trying to push for it was like a ramen restaurant that sells ramen, different ramen noodle
Mm,
recipes. So we got about three right now. We're trying to get a fourth one. Actually, and then we also have an automotive shop
nice.
that we talked to earlier today, in Texas. So y- we're trying to get as many as we possibly can. But right now we have three solid right now, but we're in the process of landing two more. So
Nice. That's
That's
awesome.
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah. Wow. That's great. So before that September period, so let's say the last 3 months since you guys have worked together, you're saying this is really the most success that you've had so far in the community. Is just when you have somebody else coming in helping you with the sales, the fulfillment, or really the sales while you handle the fulfillment, and that's just been working really well for you.
yeah. I mean, and I've been learning a lot sitting into the sales and the closings. Is kind of helping me, develop uh a skill set for myself because I've talked to Jason about this, and I was telling him how I was having I think I used to have anxiety trying to talk to business owners when it comes to like closing and telling them about the money and all that stuff, and the budget and all that stuff. He was like, well, if that's not your strong suit, you have to look at it as if you hired yourself to be a salesperson. If you're not um delivering the results that you need to really, you know, build the business, would you fire yourself? And I thought to myself, I was like, yeah, I would, because I'm not really showing the results and I'm not really closing clients, but I know I can fulfill them. So he was like, well, you might have to fire yourself. I was just like, okay. And so that's what, and I was talking to Abby and Kate about that, and they was like, well, yeah, maybe you should. And I was like, well, you're stronger at fulfilling. That should be your wheelhouse. I was like, well, okay, you can sell and close. I was like, and Abby, she pretty much keeps everything organized and keeps everything together. And then she also does the outreach. I was like, we all have something that we can bring to the table, to be like a complete, marketing agency. I was like, we might as well just do like a collaboration type of thing and just, be fulfillment. I mean, we can still prospect, for our own clients, but there's so many LMVers that are asking us for help. It was like it just makes more sense for us to be a fulfillment team, and still do prospecting on the side, but just primarily be fulfillment because that's what a lot of people are needing within LMV. So
Yeah, I mean it's like you tap into the network and they're all like, I need help with this kind of thing, and you're like, well, I have these results, and they're like, help me, and you're like,
exactly. And
okay.
I think Abby has also been responding. She goes on LMV and she sees when people post saying they need help with this, or I landed this client, I need help with that. So that's how we do. We have so many teams developed on the messenger on Facebook messengers. It's not I can't even imagine seeing this a year ago, for me. So just
Hmm.
to be able to collaborate with the two of them and be able to see all of these people coming in saying, "Hey, we need your help," is just amazing. So
Hmm.
That's awesome. I love that. So, I mean, obviously you have a bit of a team, so when you get new clients, profits get split. But I mean, one of the things that people really like about this business model is that your expenses can be pretty low. In the beginning, they can be next to
exactly.
nothing. So, what kind of tools are you using in your business? Are you just using GHL or do you have
Yeah,
anything
I
else that
mean,
you need right now?
I use Canva Pro for my like for my video creations. Um, that's pretty much it. It's just, AT because a lot of the LMVers have ATB, so we use that, and Kate also has Go High Level, so we kind of interchange between the two platforms, but they're both pretty much the same. So that's pretty much the only um thing that we're really paying for, and we're not really, well, Kate's paying for her Go High Level, but most of the time when we're collaborating with the LMVers, they already have an ATB account, and we just get added as a team member so that we can gain access to the same things that
Hmm.
they're look that them and the business owners are looking at as far as like the contacts and the workflows and all that good stuff. So it's like minimal expenses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Canva's
Oh
so
yeah,
cheap for how good it
I
is.
I live
It's
by Canva.
just does so many things.
Yeah.
I
Nice.
was using it just before we hopped on here. I was like making
I
little
mean, because
graphics and
I
stuff.
do have a
Yeah, it's
couple
awesome.
of free apps on my phone that sometimes I use for like doctoring up pictures, or if I want to remove a background or anything like that. But I don't pay for those. Those are free apps, and I just kind of take advantage of that. And then I kind of combine that and
Hmm.
Canva to to really create my videos and things like that. So that's it's still a
Nice.
minimal expense. I don't mind paying like 12. I think it's like 12.99 for Canva, and if we were
Yeah.
to use Go High Level to be able to acquire our own clients, we would put the cost of the Go High Level within the cost of whatever we charge our clients anyway. So that's going to be covered in the cost. So we don't really
Mm.
worry about the expenses
Hmm.
too much because we can just add it to the price. It's just like parts and labor on a car.
Right.
You're gonna pay for the
Right.
parts and the
Right.
labor.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much
You better
how we
believe.
think about it as far as like the expenses. So
No, I like
Nice.
that. Okay. So when you, I mean, you've been in the LB community for a couple years now, really,
yeah,
2, 3 years, something like that. So really, like in that time frame, how has the community and the program even changed throughout that period that you've noticed?
everything. Like even the training has changed because in the beginning when I started, because even when because Kate was in longer than me, and she said even when she started was different than when I started. Like it's constantly evolving because in the beginning when I started it was in 1.0, and we weren't there were no retainer or no trials. They he did talk about the individual services, but we are like the main focus in 1.0 was selling the packages because they call them systems. You had the digital referral system, which was Google My Business, rep management, SEO, and message marketing. I think it was like for $12.49 a month or something. And then they had a social referral system, which was social media marketing, where we would, post on business owners' pages, like a few times a week. And that was a package in itself, and that was like a couple regular posts and a couple video posts, and I think it was like $6.99 a month. And then the lead referral system was
Mm,
just lead gen, Google PPC ads and Facebook and Instagram ads. And then when 2.0 came into play, they started focusing on getting the big wins and the fast wins, like doing message marketing and lead gen to get the fast wins, as opposed to focusing on something more long term, like SEO or even rep management is kind of like short term and long term. So we were in, and they were even talking about rep management even in 1.0 and 2.0. I don't think they really talk about it as much, but I think they do in the ATB training. I think they talk about how to set up like a rep management campaign to get people positive reviews, but they don't really focus on it as much as they did in 1.0. And same thing with the social media management, like doing posts on businesses as opposed to just doing lead gen social media like Facebook, Instagram ads. So, I think that probably was the thing that
mm,
changed from when I started. But I think the way things are taught now, I think is probably a lot more effective than the way it was taught in 1.0, in my opinion.
mm.
Nice.
So it's more before it was like, hey, here's all the services you can do. Here's kind of how you can do them. Good luck. Versus now you're saying they're kind of more streamlined in terms of, hey, here's the services. Here's the way you offer them. Here's kind of the funnel, if you will, like how
Right.
you can lead
Because
someone through the
it's
sale.
just because it's just more convenient. I think now with the current training is it's about getting the quick wins and then offering them other services along the
Mm,
way. Once you develop a rapport with that business owner, you can say, hey, you can really, benefit from doing this, like maybe SEO for your website, to help you rank on GMB, or you can do GMB optimization. If you start off, for a business, doing their Facebook and Instagram ads and maybe doing message marketing, and then you notice that, there are other aspects of marketing that they can benefit from later on in the long run. You can, once you develop that rapport and bring them the customers and the ROI that they're looking for in the beginning, then you can start scaling. And it's like a value ladder, like he was talking about, where you can start offering other services that they can benefit from later on. After you develop that rapport and get them, the results that they're needing for their business. So,
hmm
Gotcha.
Absolutely. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Well, in terms of your guys' business now, I mean, how much revenue you guys pulling in roughly now, and then where are you guys looking to go? How big are you looking to grow your
well,
agency together?
the the first I think the distillery, I think we did like, I think it was like 16 or 1700, and that was including like the $300 in ad spend. But the meditation one, that's a little bit higher because we're doing Google PPC ads, and then we're also doing some branding
Mm,
changes and other things on top of the actual ad side. So it's slowly building, as we're developing or gaining more clients. It's just starting to slowly go up. And we all discussed that we didn't want to focus on trials, even though we would make it an option, but we wanted to focus on the monthly retainers and those high ticket monthly retainers so that we could scale fast. So that's pretty
mhm.
much our goal. And we just had a meeting about
Right.
that the other day, as far as like what we wanted to do, as far as the type of clients we wanted to obtain, and the type of money we want to receive each month. Because I feel like because of the type of work that goes into it and, the amount of results that they could possibly get, we're worth more, than the minimum that they suggest and recommend within
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
the training. Like the amount of work we're doing, it's worth more. It's worth significantly more than with the minimum that
Yeah.
they're recommending in the training, in my opinion. And Kate and Abby both agree with us.
Mhm.
Yeah. There's three of you too, and you guys are. Yeah, you guys. There's three of you. You're all on it. You're all part of it. You're delivering a higher value service than
Mhm.
even what they're saying the minimum should be in the program, right? Because that's usually you might be one person sending out some stuff, but now it's much more of a
Exactly. And
organization.
she
It
she
sounds
calls
like to
herself
me.
the
So
marketing
for
mafia because she was like, in the group, she's always like, yeah, I got a guy. So she was like,
yeah.
Yeah. So for you, I mean, you're a good example of somebody who came in, who, I mean, started your side hustle while still having a full-time job, and now you're at this exciting kind of transition period. So have you found that there's any kind of little like productivity hacks that have helped you be able to not only balance both, but actually put in serious time to your side hustle and make it
think
grow?
just being within this collaboration is really have done that for me because I have help, as opposed to me doing everything on my own, and then there's three brains instead of one. So instead of me doing all the thinking and all of the brainstorming, there's three of us and we all kind of, throw ideas at each other. And I think that's how we have become or beginning to become successful. And I feel like it's coming, and I think it's going to
Mhm.
come really like really fast and in a really fast wave. I think it's coming.
Mm, I love
Nice.
that.
That's a good feeling. Well, my last question, sorry, I know you're about to say something.
No.
Shut up. My last question is if there was anybody that was kind of, considering LMV, thinking about making the leap into entrepreneurship, and you could kind of pass along your advice to them, what do you think that you would tell
I
those
would just
people?
tell them to do it because, you know, life's too short to just wonder what if, I could have done this but I didn't, and you wind up regretting it, and you could have actually been successful. You know, I pretty much had that same mindset like for years. I was like scared to do stuff, and it was like, once I turned 40, I was just like, I need to, do something for me instead of, holding back and being afraid to, you know, do something to benefit myself. And not only to benefit myself, but to benefit others. I've always been, one to like to help others. So I felt like the business plan was perfect for me. And if anybody that has that same mentality, this is the type of work you would want to do, and it's really rewarding. Um, you learn a lot, and it's a really good business to really be a part of. And then you have a whole host of people within this group who are different. Um, Journeys within their agency. Some people are just starting out. Some people have been in business for 10, 20 years and just wanted to learn new skills to be able to help scale their agency. So there's so much help and so many people out within the group that would really be able to help you with any questions you have or any problems you may have. Like there are people that come in and say that I need help with this. And there's always somebody there to help. And that's one of the things I love about this program. And you're not going to find another program like this because they have plenty of them out there, but nobody has a community that's like this. And that was one of the things that I loved about this program.
Nice.
Love
Awesome.
it. Yeah. That I totally agree with you. Trina, that was one thing that we were really shocked by. We're like, this is amazing. But we don't want to take too much of your time here, but we do want to thank you for hopping on with us and sharing
No
about
problem.
your life, about your business. And I know it's not easy to hop on with a couple strangers and
Well,
shoot the shit
Kelsey's
about
not
business,
really a
but
stranger. I see her all
thank
the
you so
time
much
on the
for
lives
sharing with
and
us.
in the group and stuff. And sometimes I do reply to a lot of her posts that she puts up. So especially that Groupon that really helped us out. I was like, yeah, we're really going to definitely start hitting up those Groupon businesses.
Yeah, it works. As soon as we tried it, I was like, man, I gotta make a video about this because I feel like people kind of know that they can use Groupon, but if they had a step-by-step video, and it's done so
Oh
well in
yeah,
the group. So I'm
definitely.
glad that it was
And
helpful for
that's
you.
something that we were
Yeah.
just talking about the other day. I was like, we want to start hitting up these Groupon people because they're between those businesses and these people putting these boosted posts on Facebook. There, I was like, maybe we should split it up and maybe one of us do the Groupon, the other do the sponsored ads, and we might switch it up every now and again just to see who we can pull in. But I
Hmm.
really think that your strategy with the Groupon is really is a damn good one. It really is. It really is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Cool. Awesome. Well, I'm glad it helped you guys out. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to reach out. And
Thank
thanks
you. I
again for
hope you
hopping
guys
on with
have a
us. We
good
appreciate it.
rest of your day
Yeah.
or evening, I should say.
Yeah,
You
you as
too,
well.
Chris. Yeah, no problem.